I am Mariette Sidibe and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios along Caraba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main local, international and sports news headlines. President Barrow and senior government officials have been on a conducted tour of the roads identified for the OIC New Roads project. The president took the opportunity to call on the public to cooperate to make it a success. After a gruesome mob justice lynching in Farafene, which was captured on mobile phone footage and resulted in the death of a 17-year-old boy, his family and friends are calling for justice. Following reports and images shared on social media which appeared to show flooding at Banjul International Airport, QTV went to find out the true story behind the images. In international news, a single case of Ebola in Ivory Coast has sparked off a vaccination drive and put other countries in the West African sub-region on high alert. In sports news, 3 Gambian Olympians recently returned from the Tokyo Games tell the press that with better support they can and will achieve more. Those were our main headlines. Now the news in detail. President Adama Barrow, accompanied by government officials on Friday, toured for the first time the roads targeted for construction under the OIC 20 New Roads project. This gave the president the chance to gather first-hand information on the project. During the inspection, he called for the public's cooperation of the project and gave an assurance that, on completion, the project will be a turning point in transportation. Mamadou Lamin Choi reports.
Adama Barrow is on a tour of the proposed OIC 20 new roads, flanked by government officials, including the Minister of Lands, the National Roads Authority's Managing Director, and the Chief Executive Officer of the OIC Secretariat. The President is being briefed on the various communities connected by the roads in the Greater Banjul area and the progress.
We are ready. The documents are, the evaluation about negotiation, they are all ready. They are all gone.
They are all gone?
They are there, yeah.
Now we're waiting for them?
Yes. In fact, I was talking to Badia now. Fami called me.
Okay.
Badia.
Yes.
Now, when we were in Bridgelo, Badia called.
Last night.
Yes. They want to know where we, they also want us to tell them something so that we can move.
The President toured the proposed roads. People thronged the streets at every corner with elation and anxiety, hailing and chanting with a common voice, expressing support for the President and desire for the roads to be constructed soon. Having seen the condition of the roads, the President gives a solemn promise to ensure the work is done for the completion of the proposed roads. This is one of the proposed roads linking to Brufut, which the President has consistently described as a priority, where construction is expected to start from soon. The President makes a brief stop at Brufut to greet community and religious leaders whose major concern and desire is for the construction of the roads.
Brufut is my priority. Okay. That's where we are going to launch it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Before launching, even they will start the work from there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. So technically, we will work with the contractors to make sure that it's affirmed.
I told him also.
Yes.
He's taking it as a priority.
Okay.
The President's site visit of the roads is inspired by the desire to be on top of issues relating to the project, given its significance in the lives of Gambians, and he shares his impression with the press.
I've always been briefed by the OIC Secretariat and the Ministry of Works and Road Authority. They have been briefing me, but all the time I see this road on a map. I say, no, that is not enough. I have to go physically and see the roads. And now we have agreed with the contractor. We have identified contractors. We are now waiting for no objection from Saudi Arabia. The moment we have the no objection, definitely work will start proper. And I think that will be very, very soon.
The head of state also calls on for collaboration and support from all Gambians to take ownership of the project that is geared towards development for everyone. President Adama Barrow is optimistic that the project can be completed in time for the Gambia's hosting of the OIC in 2022.
We are supposed to host in 2022. It's a matter of give and take. The hosting period is within 7 to 8 months going forward. Maybe about 1 year, almost about 1 year. We are very optimistic that we can do it within time, but we wait and see. But what is the most important thing is the contract. Now we have agreed on contract, we have identified a contractor, and the work is coming to start proper. I think that's the most important thing.
The OIC Roads project will see the construction of 20 new urban roads across the Greater Banjul area and the expansion of the Bertil-Harding Highway to a modern dual carriage. The President and his government are optimistic of a historic, life-changing infrastructural development that will benefit all Gambians. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Sadly, it is common in our society to hear of communities taking the law into their own hands and beating those accused of stealing or attempted stealing. The youths of Farafene, Mauritania in the North Bank region are seeking justice for Sheriff Haidara, whose torture and killing were captured on a bystander's phone after he was allegedly caught loitering with intent to steal, tied up and beaten to death a week ago. Our regional correspondent Bakari Balde tells us more.
Family members, joined by friends of the late 17-year-old Sheriff Haidara, took to the streets of Farafenni to make sure that firm action is taken against those involved in killing the teenager. According to his mother, Nene Galle Jallo, her son was killed when she was away. Nene Galle further revealed that one of those accused of involvement in the killing, Alaji Bambo Jadama, was a good friend of Sheriff's.
I traveled to Nyoro to visit my brother. Before I left, he told me, "Mom, go. You will find me here." I came back and found that they have killed him. The accused came to me one day and told me to give him onions and also lend him my gas bottle. My son told me he is his friend. He killed him in a gruesome way by tying his hands and legs.
Ibrahim Haidara, the stepfather of the deceased, narrated how the news reached him and the terrible condition in which Sheriff's corpse was found. He also advocates that serious legal action must be taken against those responsible.
They came to me at 11 o'clock while I was sitting at the gate. They greeted and asked for Sheriff's mother. I told them that Sheriff's mother has traveled. They asked for the father and I told them it is me. They told me that Sheriff is been detained in one compound. I went there and found Sheriff lying in the veranda and not covered. I told them that he is dead and I went and called the police.
How Haidara, a sister of the deceased, explained the good relationship she had with her late brother. According to her, Sheriff was very helpful and kind.
I am crying because I cannot keep quiet. If he come to my house, he used to give me money when he finds out that my feast money is not enough. My dad came and told me that my brother is dead. What they did to him is very evil.
Fafa Gay, who was so close to Sheriff, said that the maltreatment his friend was subjected to before his death was painful and uncalled for. He appealed to the authorities to take drastic action against those involved in the killing and for them to face the full force of the law. At this stage, while the body has been transported to the hospital for forensic examination and an autopsy, 3 suspects are currently under police custody and helping the ongoing criminal investigation. Now that Sheriff is finally gone, the family wants justice. They also hope that if strong action is taken against these perpetrators, it will deter others from taking the law into their own hands. For QTV News, I am Bakar Balde.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. The Gambia Civil Aviation Authority has denied reports that the recent airport renovation was a waste of public funds. This follows widespread social media reports that the airport main entrance roof was leaking after pictures of what appeared to be a flooded airport terminal were shared online. Ansumana Isonyasi reports.
The recent airport renovation, which ushered in a massive facelift that officials say will transform the airport into one of the most attractive and passenger-friendly airports in the sub-region, attracted a lot of criticism online, with many questioning the cost of the entire renovation work, which officials say amounts to $14 million. The renovation was done in anticipation of the tourist season and the OIC summit. However, a year on, the airport is again at the center of widespread public scrutiny after pictures of what appeared to be a flooded airport terminal emerged online. This prompted the calling of an impromptu press conference by the Aviation Authority's spokesperson, Lamin Diba, to refute the reports. Quelling the rumors, Diba says they are misleading and are being seared by critics who are only bent on tarnishing the image of the GCAA.
What happened in this country being a rain, usually of August, which is natural, and whatever happened was spillages of water, which is normal when we have big buildings like this. But what I want to emphasize here is that our airport, Banjul International Airport, since it was reconstructed, refurbished over the recent period, has never actually occasioned, witnessed any significant flooding as we speak. Whatever the story was that was being peddled on social media is more than just awakening on the public on the negative part of whatever they were thinking.
He argues that the said pictures are misleading, reiterating that there was no flooding or leakage from the roof of the terminal building.
It is unfortunate that when people take designs or pictures, whatever it was that they took, because when we came in here, the first thing we asked ourselves is, where are the significant pools of water? Where did somebody build this story from? Is it as recent as we speak now? Because when this thing was being refurbished, evidence will show you that the technical concept of the airport has taken care of draining.
The renovation work included other areas of the airport such as the VIP and CIP lounge, an overhaul of the cooling system to a new one, renovation of the control tower, electrical system and the old terminal. Since its inception, the renovation project has had its critics. However, GCAA officials remain resolute that serving in the country's best interest remains at the heart of the authority's management. Ansumane Sonyasi for KTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we will have some more local, international and sports news stories.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow.
Step into the future of television with sleek and slim design Samsung Smart TVs, ranging in size from 32 to 75 inches and in different technology. Smart LED, Crystal UHD, Ultra High Definition and QLED Quantum Dot LED. Get new ways of interacting with your TV as our TVs offer an unparalleled vision adventure from the comfort of your living room. Ultra Viewing Angle, powerful picture quality, web browser, gallery, EarthNet LAN, wireless LAN built-in, Bluetooth, screen mirroring technology, mobile on TV mirroring, built-in voice assistance, Wi-Fi direct. Not only that, our TVs are backed with 12 months warranty and we are currently on a promotion. Contact us on 333-3217.
Welcome back from that commercial break. Have you ever bought street food? If so, have you considered the health risk? QTV went to gauge perspective from both vendors and consumers. Here is a report by Zainab Chow.
Street food consists of ready-to-eat foods or drinks sold by a hawker or vendor in a street or other public place like roadsides, markets are meant for immediate consumption. Street food customers include drivers, passerby, and even families, among others. However, street foods are preserved by some. As a major public health risk, people who patronize street food have been reported to suffer from foodborne diseases like diarrhea, typhoid fever, and food poisoning. Ninding Damfa is a driver who buys street food.
The food which has no cover and the dust blowing everywhere is not safe, but we have no option. We wake up at 4 a.m., sometimes at 5 a.m. That's the reason we buy food from the streets.
Esa Sow, an apprentice learning to drive, explains why he buys street food.
Here is where I work. I go home in the afternoon, so I can only buy my food from the street. I know it is not safe, but before I buy food from anyone, I must make sure I trust the vendor and that I am comfortable with buying from them. If I don't trust you, to some extent, I won't be comfortable, so I will not buy from you.
Zainab Sibi, a mother, talks about the risks associated with street food.
I don't allow my kids to buy food from the streets because it's not safe, especially now. Parents should take care of their kids. I am a parent and I prepare food for my children before they go out.
Yasin Jiba, a street vendor, advises street food vendors to be careful.
I am selling food on the street because I want to earn a living. I have nowhere to sell but on the streets. I am pleading with my fellow vendors selling on the street to take care of themselves and to make sure the food is clean and hygienic. We should make sure we make good food. Most of the people don't want to buy from the streets because they say it's not safe. But what I sell is good. I take care of myself and because people will judge you by your looks.
Musa Jaune, another street food vendor, had this to say.
I'm selling on the streets because I don't have any other place to sell. I am a family man and I can't sit at home doing nothing. I have a family to take care of. I earn fish money from my street business.
Some consumers of street foods are aware of the risks associated, but have no choice but to keep on buying, not to go hungry. The vendors we spoke to are confident that their food is safe and clean. It is now left to the consumer to pay their money and make a choice. For QTV News, I am Zainab Chow.
In international news. After the first case of Ebola was recorded in the country's capital Abidjan last week, since the country suffered the outbreak in 1994, Ivory Coast is scrambling to roll out the vaccine to priority groups, including health workers. More in this report by Ajibintu Drame.
It was from an 18-year-old woman who arrived by bus from Labe in Guinea last Wednesday. She was admitted to hospital with a fever and is said to be in a stable condition. This has prompted the health ministry to roll out a vaccination campaign to thousands, where priority will be given to health workers and their relatives, and people that came in contact with the victim. 70 people who traveled in the same vehicle with the victim were identified, and about 200 health workers, many from the hospital where the woman was hospitalized, were also vaccinated to contain the further spread of the deadly virus. This is a situation that is under control, the health minister, Pierre Dimba, stated. The World Health Organization has expressed immense concern about the outbreak in the country's largest city, with a densely populated 4 million people crammed into it. According to the WHO, 12 Ebola deaths have been recorded in Guinea since February 14, although the country was declared free of the disease on June 19th. Tests are underway to find out if this latest case in Ivory Coast is linked to the recent outbreak in neighboring Guinea. Meanwhile, preliminary sequencing showed a close match between the woman's case and the 2014-2016 Ebola outbreak, which killed 11,300 people mainly in Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia. That outbreak began in southeastern Guinea, where Guinea's latest outbreak originated, before spreading to Liberia and Sierra Leone. Health authorities in the West African nation of Guinea confirmed a case of Marburg virus disease on August 9th in the southern Gikedu prefecture, according to the World Health Organization. This is the first time the Marburg virus, which causes a highly infectious hemorrhagic fever similar to Ebola, has been detected in West Africa. Hemorrhagic fever is any infectious fever that causes internal bleeding. The Marburg and Ebola viruses are both members of the filovirus family and have the capacity to cause outbreaks with high fatality rates. Since the Ebola outbreak was first discovered in Congo near the Ebola River, the 2014 to 2016 outbreak in West Africa was the largest Ebola outbreak in history, as there were more cases and deaths registered in this outbreak than all others combined. Guinea, Senegal, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Mali, among other countries, suffered the outbreak, which led to a total of 28,652 cases and 11,325 deaths being registered. Meanwhile, in the Ivory Coast, health authorities are hoping the vaccine will prove successful in stopping the spread. Other countries in the sub-region remain on high alert. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
In sports news, the 3 Olympians who have returned from the just-ended Olympics in Tokyo have promised to perform better in upcoming competitions if the authorities continue to support them in early preparations. The athletes were speaking to the press on Thursday at a press conference. Babukar C reports.
Ibrahim Buaro and Gina Bass were joined by the National Athletics captain Adama Jammeh to answer questions about the just-ended Olympic Games in Japan and what expectations Gambians should have of them in the upcoming competitions. The trio all view the Tokyo Games as a learning experience and promise to do better if the support is given to them, particularly going into 2022 when 3 major competitions are lined up for the athletes in the continent and the world stages, namely the Islamic Games, the Commonwealth Games and the All Africa Games. Adama Jammeh, team captain who missed out on the timing to Tokyo, said there are a lot of Gina Basses and Ibrahim Kamaras in the country, but the lack of infrastructure, materials and support must be improved to motivate them to achieve more.
When you come to terms of swimming, how many swimming pools that we got that are of standard that Ibrahima can go and do his training exercises. And also Gina, Bas, the other Ibrahima and myself have to go to Senegal at the high performance training center there that is monitored by the Confederation of African Athletics. So the infrastructure is #1 thing that the Gambia needs, because there are so many talented athletes in the country who want to sell the country good in the outside world.
For Olympian Ibrahim Kamara, the Tokyo Games is a lesson for him, and he believes he is ready to train harder and be better prepared.
Fortunately, I did not achieve my goal and my dream of being in the Olympic, but not that I was having big athletes that I never competed or something like that. Although it's the big competition in the world, yeah. So, but it was okay. It was okay. The experience, I have many experience there. Athletics is fair. It's your own track with your own lane, so nobody will push you. You have to do what is in your leg.
His namesake swimmer Ibrahim Buaro, who represented the Gambia in the 50-meter butterfly, said he loves the sport and would want to win a medal for the Gambia, and explain what the obstacles are.
Sometimes some training materials.
It is very difficult for many athletes to achieve success in our various competitions, because sometimes I will spend my own money to buy training materials so I can train, and more embarrassingly, you would go outside the country to meet other athletes in a different place, empty-handed, and you end up asking them to lend you their materials to be able to train. The authorities should help us, as what we need is not much, and only if they support us, then we can be better prepared to fight like the rest, so we can bring a medal for our country. For the track queen Gina Bass, reaching the semi-finals in both the 100 and 200 meters was an achievement in her career, but after attending 2 Olympics in Rio and Tokyo, it's time now to start preparing better and shift all concentration to France 2024. But before that, she has a huge task to defend her 200-meter African title and the gold medal she won in the Islamic Games.
Well, it's not my first time being in those competitions. Like in Islamic Games, I have to run faster to turn the title back to myself. And the other events, I have to make sure to be in the final, like in Commonwealth Games.
These athletes were identified from school competitions a decade ago, and they unanimously agreed that if the grassroots are supported, more athletes will emerge who will perform better than them. At the end of the press conference, Gina Bass was presented with $1,425 cash. The money was raised through a GoFundMe account initiated by one Guy Masise, who told us that she felt Gina deserves more because of the work and manner in which she continued to raise the flag of the country among the elite. Babukar C, QTV News.
Before we end, here's a recap of our main news headlines. President Barrow and senior government officials have been on a conducted tour of the roads identified for the OIC New Roads project. The president took the opportunity to call on the public to cooperate to make it a success. After a gruesome mob justice lynching in Farafene, which was captured on mobile phone footage and resulted in the death of a 17-year-old boy, his family and friends are calling for justice. Following reports and images shared on social media, which appeared to show flooding at Banjul International Airport, QTV went to find out the true story behind the images. In international news, a single case of Ebola in Ivory Coast has sparked off a vaccination drive and put other countries in the West African sub-region on high alert. In sports news, 3 Gambian Olympians recently returned from the Tokyo Games told the press that with better support they can and will achieve more. That's all we have for you in this bulletin. Thank you for watching and have a nice weekend.